Great. Okay. So first off, we're going to start with staff introductions. Our first member of our team, who unfortunately isn't here tonight, is Mark Falkenstein. He is our Executive Director of Campus Life, so he oversees not only recreation, which is our program area, but a bunch of other program areas that you may be interacting with as you are here at Pacific. Laura, want to take it over?
Absolutely. My name is Laura Whiteley. I am the Assistant Director of Competitive Sports and Facilities, so I oversee the intramural sports, club sports programs, as well as the outdoor adventure programming we're going to be talking about tonight, and our facility rentals. Just a fun fact about me, I recently went on a trip and got to see 3 different national parks in that trip. So I love to visit national parks and go hiking, and so today's an exciting day for me.
Woohoo! Amber, are you good to go?
I'm good to go. All right. So hello. My name's Amber. I'm the other assistant director, and I get to oversee fitness, membership, and marketing. I've been here about 3.5 years, and I'm showing y'all the new mug that we got as a giveaway this semester.
Ooh-wee.
A fun fact about me is I like to change my hair color from blonde to black and just rotate it through the seasons.
Fact. This is a fact.
We love to see it.
We love to see it. Okay, getting ready for the big reveal because I definitely made sure I was decked out in my Explorer attire today. Hello, my name is Enzo, and I am ready to explore. Enzo the Safari Man. I am another graduate. Well, I'm one of the graduate assistants for Pacific Recreation, and I oversee facility operations and risk management. Sadly, my partner in crime, the peanut butter to my jelly, my right-hand woman, Amber Bamatir, is not here right now. She's being a good student. She's in class, but she is the last person depicted on this page. She is a big part of this event and making it come together. So we thank her very, very much. And we might see a guest appearance later on, depending on how her class, if it ends a little bit early. Moving right along. We're going to start with just a fun, engaging way to hit up the chat function. And we have a question of the day. What is your favorite way to explore? So go ahead and throw that in the chat function. Oh, I'm with you, Nicole.
I would like to point out that a trip to a mall you've never been to can be an adventure.
Oh, it can. Oh, it can. Stealing like a little bit of Nicole's California adventures, because one fun fact, I just moved here about a year ago, so still super, super new to California. So even if it's just walking around my house, because there's still probably a lot of my neighborhood I haven't seen, or actually going out and seeing things, or going to the mall, as Amber says, correct, it would all be an adventure. Oh, great, 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 great. Okay, so we're also just next going to play a little video. This is of one of our programs and series, Baun Backyard Eats, which Laura will talk about later, but just a little sneak peek of some of the fun and engaging things that we do around Pacific Recreation in regards to Explore.
Hello! Marshmallows, cheers to s'mores. On today's episode, we're going to take the classic snack of campfire s'mores and turn it into 3 different beautiful creations.
3 different takes. Take 1 is a marshmallow cookie s'more. We've obviously got all your classics, but plot twist, there's strawberries.
Strawberries, yeah. Starting out strong and not with something that you expect, but again, this is 3 different ways of s'mores. So with this first one, you're slicing and dicing your strawberries, and they're going to be layered into your quote-unquote s'more with your cookie.
So we're stacking our marshmallows now. There's a lot of debate over how to roast a marshmallow. Clearly, I am just light it on fire and get the sugar.
And I'm a toasty, it's nicely burnt, but not too much.
So you've got your choice of cookies there. I obviously add chocolate because I am never going to say no to more chocolate. And then you're just layering on your strawberry or really any choice of fruit. Slap it on there. Wow.
And it's easy as that. Really, it took us maybe 5 minutes for your first rendition.
All right. Is it Taco Bell or is it Baun Backyard Eats? Get ready for the life-changing s'mores crunch wrap. Take 2.
So you see I'm folding our flour tortilla here. It's always good to practice before you fold it.
And so it looks like the sound cut out.
That was important to me. And we found that the smaller marshmallows worked better to melt. So the smaller marshmallows would be recommended.
Could you hear it then?
Yes, I think it was just when you muted yourself.
Yep, I just realized that was a no. Sorry about that. Appreciate you watching out, Dubs.
But we only had one size of each marshmallows.
I did use dark chocolate chips, and that also worked great, especially when we melted it over the fire. So everything's folded, you're getting your butter or your margarine into your cast iron over your fire, and you're plopping your crunch wraps in, and you're going to flip it 2 minutes on each side to make sure everything gets melty and gooey inside your crunch wrap.
Really important not to leave that pan on there too long early on, because otherwise it will get really hot really fast.
So I'm slathering my crunch wrap in some cinnamon sugar and some butter. Just really add some extra sugar and flavor to your crunch wrap.
Look at that. Nice cut down the middle.
That cross section.
Gooey goodness.
Yeah.
And that mix of cinnamon sugar to finish it off was exactly what it needed.
Honestly, we'll do this again.
Absolutely life-changing.
Yeah.
All right, s'mores take 3. We're caking it.
Oh, buddies. We got your cast iron. And we are using a pre-mixed vanilla cake. I used applesauce to make it vegan, but you can use angel food cake or just any cake you would like.
You're going to layer that cake in the bottom, crumble it up, and then you've obviously got your graham cracker and chocolate like your classic s'mores. Again, you see me making sure I get all of my chocolate in there.
So we're doing this beautiful layer of marshmallows. We're going to add some foil on top of that and flopping it into the fire.
Yeah, so after it goes on with the foil, you can see the fire is only really on one side, so just make sure if that's the case, you rotate it, get even cooking. So we just rotated that halfway through.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful toasted marshmallows.
Beautiful gooey goodness, some good brown, some good char. There's really something for everyone.
Yeah, and you're just scooping it onto your plate, or honestly, you could just eat straight out of the cast iron.
You know, save the dirty plate. Why not?
Yeah.
But this is great to really be able to share with a bunch of people, and it really only took a solid 10 minutes other than pre-prepping that cake.
Yeah, and you can see I was happy, just so much sugar.
It was a great day for s'mores 3 ways. Remember, if you replicate any of these recipes, tag us in your photo at Pacific Rec, and you could win your own campfire cook set.
And don't worry, we're not going anywhere yet. We will premiere season 2 in September. And until then,
keep on cooking.
Wow. Well, I do have to say, I apologize that cut out, but I was afraid that you were going to hear me salivating. That's why I originally muted myself. I apologize for that. But absolutely, those were some delicious treats. And I know Laura's going to talk more about that series later on, just a little sneak peek to get you excited for more. Before we dig deep into some of our programs, just going to plug some of our social media. You can catch us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Pacific Rec. You can keep up to date with any of our programs going on, as well as see some sneak peeks to them, including some of our virtual group fitness and programs such as Move, Play, Explore. You can also, if you have any general questions or inquiries, reach out to us at pacificrec@pacific.edu. So there's that right there. You can also pop that in the chat. For some of these wonderful programs that we will be talking about tonight, and that can be found, they can all be found at pacificrec.pacific.edu. There you can actually browse all the programs that we're offering and get more involved with not only us, but some more students around campus as well. And lastly, if you've been on Canvas, which, first week of school, we've all been on Canvas, you'll probably seen Pacific Plus is a new tile on there. This is just a way to stay updated and connected with messages and updates from around the university, as well as reminders about upcoming programs. And you can check out weekly videos from our extended Pacific community, like I said, which spans way more than just recreation, but we are also on there. So plenty of different ways to engage with us. quick overview of the night. We already did some introductions and audience check-ins. We previewed our Baun Backyard Eats video and talked about social media. Now we're going to jump into some of the outdoor programs and offerings, such as the Rock Tower, Tiger Escapes, go way more into Baun Backyard Eats and our typical outdoor programming, some virtual interactive outdoor programming that we can still do. Then I'm going to plug Bam and I's little leadership course that we do just about every semester. Then we're going to top it off at around 7:45. We'll be going into some national park themed trivia, and you don't want to miss it. I and Bam have been coming up with these questions, and I think we might just stump you. These are not your typical easy questions, and they're pretty in depth. So excited to have that with you as well, and then have some final Q&A if you have any more questions.
Yeah, we may finish a little early, but definitely we'll take a break if we need to and come on back for the trivia at 7:45.
Absolutely, yes. The only thing that is absolute on here is that trivia will be starting at 7:45. Oh, and how could I go on without talking about some of the wonderful prizes that you could win by participating in trivia? That first one is going to be talking about first place for the trivia is going to be a 12-inch cast iron pan and seasoning soap, which you actually saw featured in the Baun Backyard Eats video you just saw. So thinking about those s'mores crunch wraps or any other of those delicious s'more integrated desserts, that's definitely going to be there. Extended marshmallow roasting sticks as well, and or a magnetic dartboard. Oh, and it looks like we have some leftovers, so might even win a rain leaf microfiber towel. So all exciting things to come. Without further ado, going to pass it over to L Dub so she can start talking about Rock Tower.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing we're going to cover on our adventure programming, as I like to call it, is right in our home of the Baun Fitness Center. We have our Rock Tower. It is 36 feet of fun, as I like to say. So it is our 36-foot tall rock tower, rock climbing tower. It hosts just open climbing, as well as climbing competitions and climbing challenges and some other stuff we're going to talk about. So those are some awesome pictures. You can see the one on the right is just a straight up view up the front face of it. So we do have some interesting challenging parts there. There's the 3 or 4 different sides of the wall host, I believe, 5 or 6 different rope routes. And they all have different challenging levels. So the one right up at the front is some of the more challenging one, as you see a little bit of an overhang that's difficult to kind of cross over, but otherwise when the rock tower is not in use, we also have our ping pong table up, but it's a super fun tower, and we're going to talk more about some of the other stuff we have going on there. So operations wise, when we do return to campus, the hours might look a little different, but this is what they've looked like in the past. No matter what, they'll be updated on our portal for sure. So in the past, it's typically been Monday to Thursday, 4 to 8 p.m., Friday 4 to 7, Saturday 10 to noon, which is our open climb, or we've called it family climb in the past. So if you happen to have any family members or siblings, even younger siblings, they are welcome to come in and they buy just a family climb pass, and they're welcome to climb the wall with you. We do host mini climbing competitions. So that's something that our awesome Rock Tower staff organizes each year. And for speed and for a couple different things, they set the different routes for the competition, and they run it just like a competition you might see in any other rock gym in the area. But obviously with our wall being a little bit different, that's why we call it a little bit of a mini climbing competition. Our Mount Whitney challenge happens usually every year in the spring, and that is just a challenge to try to get people out to the tower as much as possible and see how much they can climb the wall. So it's something like 416 times. If you climb the wall over the semester, you will have climbed Mount Whitney, which is the tallest peak in California. So that's pretty exciting. 416 times sounds like a lot, but some of our very experienced climbers can race up and down that wall super fast, and they'll do 10, 20 climbs in a day, and some finished it well early in the semester. So that's always a fun one to see. And then finally, some of our fun programming that we occasionally run is a blacklight climb. So in that picture, we actually saw some blacklight tape set up. So some routes were set up that way, and we turn the lights off and turn the black lights on, and it's a super fun time. Otherwise, our Rock Tower staff is staffed by some awesome students who are always there to help. So they are there to help teach you, help guide you, as well as belay if needed. So we always like to teach people how to belay. Belaying is the people who hold the ropes for the person on the wall that you're connected to. So we do teach people how to do that, whether you're an experienced climber or a brand new climber just wanting to try it out. That's what the staff is there for. We do have various different grip training devices on our wall, as well as some interchanging wooden rings and red balls and stuff that for our experienced climbers is really great. And our staff also does set all of our routes on the wall. So you'll see a lot of times they have a theme. One semester it was Broadway musicals, one semester it was cartoons. So they always have a good amount of fun with that. All right, so getting to our big program in Outdoor Adventure, Tiger Escapes. This is probably my favorite part of the job. As much as I love all of my job, this is the most exciting for sure. This is our Outdoor Adventure Trips program. So next one, Enzo, to give you kind of an idea of what the goals of the Tiger Escapes program is. The goal is to encourage all Pacificans to explore and experience new things. We seek to connect people from all backgrounds in a love of learning and adventure. And whether you're an adrenaline junkie or an urban explorer, there will be a trip for you. So if you're someone that has seen other days of Recfest or will be seeing them, my whole theme is there's always something for everyone, and we really do that in how we set up our trips. So the next thing we're going to talk about is some of the past trips that we've done. So hopefully we can get excited when we're all ready to return back to campus. These are some of the awesome opportunities that are going to be available for you. So this was our fall trip schedule. You can see we went to Santa Cruz. We went to Lassen National Park. That was a 2-night camping trip because students have a day off for fall break. So we got to go a little further. We did go to Lake Tahoe to go mountain biking, which was the first time we've ever been mountain biking and was a great experience. Many students had never done it before. We'd have a couple students that were experts, but everybody had a lot of fun. We went to San Jose around Halloween to the Winchester Mystery House, and then finished it off with just a day hike in Castle Rock State Park. And then the spring semester, we had, again, another slate of awesome trips in the next semester, which had just passed. Next one, Enzo. And so you can see we kicked it off again with the first time we've done a ski and snowboard trip up to the Dodge Ridge Resort, which was another awesome one that really catered again towards many of us had never ever been skiing or snowboarding before, all the way up to people that brought their own gear and were already had a lot of experience. Every spring, this is one of the trips we do every spring. We do go to Alcatraz for the Alcatraz Night Tour, which is a really phenomenal, awesome experience. Even if you've been to Alcatraz, if you've never been at night, it's really cool to go. Our alternative spring break trip, we partnered with our religious and spiritual life department on campus, and we got to go to San Diego and Joshua Tree National Park. Enzo actually joined us on that trip, and that was a great way to be able to do some service and give back, and then also explore both San Diego and Joshua Tree. Enzo, did you have any highlights from that trip?
Oh man, I mean, I'm not wearing it right now, but I actually have a Joshua Tree National Park hat, and it's my favorite hat. That was not the highlight, but that's I don't buy a lot of hats, so that was a defining moment. That's how much I liked it. No, being in the national park one day, as well as working, like Laura said, with just a lot of different groups and in an area that we were able to kind of give back was super, super rewarding and a great way to not only enjoy ourselves for spring break, but kind of find some meaning in it as well.
Absolutely. And then our camping trip for the semester, we were going to go to Point Reyes National Seashore, and then finishing off with a whitewater rafting trip. That last part, make your escape. We do also at the Baun Fitness Center have equipment rental and checkout. So if a camping trip or making your own escape with your friends is something you're interested in, but you don't quite have all the equipment, we've got everything you might need, from backpacks, tents, to sleeping pads and sleeping bags, as well as camp stoves. So we offer a free equipment rental weekend as just an encouragement for people to get out there and explore on their own. And that usually coincides actually on a day that the national parks are free, which was the case on that weekend. That Saturday was a free entrance into national parks that week. So again, with my theme that there's something for everyone. You can see we always have a camping trip. We usually have some kind of, just a day hike. We have some definitely adrenaline junkie type things that whether you've never tried it before or you've done it before, you're going to have some excitement. And then we've also got some of our city trips, like we went to San Jose and San Francisco, that, if hiking is not your thing, that's totally fine. It doesn't mean you can't come and escape and explore with us. And I kind of highlighted them already, but just to kind of give you an idea on what we may be able to do with travel destinations, most of those trips were one-day trips. So we do go anywhere in Northern California within about a 2-hour drive. So that picture on the left was Lake Tahoe, a really beautiful part that we went just up a mountain from there, and we went to a ropes course park, which you see in the picture below that, which is awesome. The next one is Lassen Volcanic National Park. And then the last one would be Baker Beach, a hike along the beach, and then to the bridge, which is really awesome. So again, within a 2-hour drive, the benefit of being in Stockton and at Pacific is we've got so many opportunities and so many great things that we can do. And we are always open to suggestions as well, whether you've been on a trip or not. We love to hear your suggestions or maybe what you'd want to do, because in the end, we plan it for the students. So if there's something you want to do, I'm happy to plan it, and let's do it. The other thing I did forget to mention, those trips do usually come at a added cost. So they aren't free. However, they are significantly cheaper than what you may pay if you go on your own. So for instance, the Alcatraz trip, I believe, was $35 for students. That included the ticket to the tour, that included the bus ride to San Francisco. You had some extra time to explore in San Francisco as well. Something like our camping trips run about $60, even though they're multiple days. So very affordable, and you're able to bring, if you're a student, you're also able to bring a guest. So if you have, an older sibling or a friend maybe from another university, they might be visiting you, they're welcome to come on those trips as well, which is a great opportunity. So even though we're virtual and we can't, sorry, go back one, Enzo. Even though we're virtual and we can't take you on a trip right now, we do have one opportunity for a Tiger Escape, which is our personal self-guided retreat. We're calling it Rooted in Love. And you can see I have a screenshot of our portal down there. You can register at pacificrec.pacific.edu, and you click on that Tiger Escapes icon, and this registration will come up in the future. All of our trips, that's where they're listed for registration. But it is, again, a partnership with our Religious and Spiritual Life, who serves all students of any faith or non-faith background. So the idea behind this, a self-guided retreat, whether it's in your own neighborhood or you go to a park, it's about the outdoors, the love of the outdoors, self-care, loving your neighbor. So if you register for that, you are provided a PDF with that self-guided reflection to take anywhere you may be. And then we have a Zoom invitation as well to kind of close it out with the group. So that's going to be a really great opportunity to kind of get out and reflect after the first crazy month of school. And the other feature of that, it is hosted on September 6th which is National Public Lands Day, and the national parks are free on that Saturday, September 26th. So feel free to mark your calendar and get out and explore on that day. Fun fact, the last free day of 2020 is Veterans Day, Wednesday, November 11th, if you're looking to save some money on entrance fees. All right, so what we've got for you with outdoor programming coming up. Again, even though we can't do it together, we've got plenty of things that we're hoping to inspire you all to get outside, go explore, try some things that are different, and keep your self-care. If you like to get outside, keep that going. So you already saw our little highlight video from Baun Backyard Eats. These are some more pictures. You might recognize the s'mores crunch wrap right there on your top right. That truly was life-changing. I absolutely love it. So that was super fun to be able to do and take elsewhere outside of that video and share with my family and friends. We've already done it again. But we've got different episodes. We've got 3 episodes already out. Our next episode comes out next Thursday, which I believe is September 3rd. And we've already done some summer salads. We've done chilaquiles. We've done fajita foil packs and those s'mores. So again, next one, Enzo. The idea behind Backyard Eats is just spice up your home meal prep with some fun recipes or new ways of cooking. We know that everybody's kind of staying at home, doing some things different, might be with your families. So if you have a safe way to have a fire pit in your backyard, we'd love for you to cook along with us over the campfire. If you don't have that option, of course, all of these are able to be cooked. You can still recreate it on a grill or a stove or an oven. So whether you can learn some new skills and cook at home some of these recipes or take it on your next camping trip. We would love for you to do that. And as the video said, if you do recreate any of the recipes from the video and you tag us in a photo at Pacific Rec, you do get entered to win a outdoor cooking set, which is an awesome prize if cooking is something that you love. Our next one is a weekly social media feature. So Hike of the Week is posted every Friday on Instagram and Facebook at Pacific Rec. The goal of this one, you're going to learn about some amazing hikes and landscapes from all over California and the world. And we hope that the Pacific community will continue to show us what they're doing, even though we may not be together, so we can all connect and learn from each other. So these photos, the one on the left is from Mount Diablo and the other two are from Pinecrest. They're from some of our past tiger escapes that we've done in the past couple years. And they were featured on our first two Hike of the Week segments. And then coming up this next week, we've got one down in SoCal, and we'll have our first submission from a student coming up after that. So definitely, we'd love for everybody to take a look, follow along with that program on Instagram, learn more about some great places you can visit, and hopefully you're inspired to get outside and let us know where you're hiking so we can share the awesome things that everyone in the community is doing. All right, and our other program we have is our Wednesday weekly skill share. So as you might guess, this happens every Wednesday of this semester. I believe it will start next week. And you can just learn a new life hack or a skill every week. It can be anything from making a campfire to, as it mentions, candle making, and maybe another little cooking stuff, juggling, how to fold a fitted sheet. So there are so many different opportunities. They're all in 30 minutes or less over Zoom, and it's just a fun, pop in on that Wednesday, learn something, have a little bit of fun, maybe have a laugh, and hopefully take a little life hack with you on down the road.
Thank you, Laura. Absolutely. Yeah, just was working with BAM today on that Wednesday weekly Skillshare too. We confirmed a lot of great pro staff around the university and confirmed some of those cool things like candle making and pumpkin carving. So it's going to be a really great series to pay attention to. This slide is, we're going to start to talk about my leadership in training program. I say my because I brought it from UOP from Florida, my long journey all the way here. But it's really BAM has really played a really great role in elevating this and making it what it is. Some of the great graphics that we see here are just some of what the students have done. Oh, I'm sorry, I see that you have a question. So this video is being recorded. Where can I access it online? Unfortunately, I have to leave at 7. Well, Nicole, it's going to be on our at Pacific Recreation. It's going to be on YouTube, and it's going to be downloaded next week. I think, though, that you'll probably be pretty good for 7 to pretty much catch everything. And if you want, if you have class, that's fine. But if you can join us back at 7:45 for trivia, that would be awesome too. Oh, and Laura's coming in with the clutch information as well. But yeah, this is our last little segment, so we'll run through this and then ask if you have any questions, but we should be able to fit it in before 7 for you. No problem. So yeah, going back to leadership and training, we call it LIT. And these are some of the cool, our final class is a kind of an amalgamation of everything that we learn in there, which is, it's called leadership and training, but Bam and I were just actually having a conversation recently about how it really is a lot of self-branding. It's self-identification, reflection. It's really great for all class levels, whether you're an incoming freshman or you're a senior, to really just take a minute and take a look back at whether the classes you're taking that semester or some of the projects you've taken on, and say to yourself, what are my true values? What's important to me right now? As well as kind of just create a vulnerable space for you and a couple of other students that are in the course as well. So you see some of these as, and the students actually awarded these to each other. So this is Lit Optimism and Patience Award. When there's some sunshine, we see that there's Award of Excellence for Ever Reaching Upward. So there's a lot of positive affirmation in here too. There's also a lot of positive reflection and just true self-identification of just your path and where you intend to be going. This is our cool graphic that we've just unveiled. Very excited about that, Bam and I. Again, leadership and training, it serves as an active exploration of leadership and teaches students how to personalize their unique brand of leadership moving forward, and kind of allows you to navigate through the expectations versus reality of leadership. You know, we talk a lot about, or you hear a lot about in popular media, what leadership is. Is it standing at a podium and kind of talking at people? Is it bossing people around? In certain situations, it might be. It might be helping to supervise and collaborate with people. But a lot of times, leadership in your own life can just be talking to your parents or talking to your roommates, or shooting your class a helpful email if maybe they're unsure, if you know that there's something going on in class and you kind of want to help get everybody on the same page. You know, those are all forms of leadership. It was a weird example, but I just did that the other day and it's just on my mind. But yeah, so students also engage in activities and candid conversations through a book that you get access to for free, this Student Leadership Challenge, 5 Practices of Becoming an Exemplary Leader. And the book really aims to implore students to think about leadership as an ongoing process, right? So you don't just take the course and like, oh, wow, great, I got my leadership certificate, I guess I'm done. No, this is definitely something that you'll be working on through your life, and that Bam and I, as if you were interested in taking the course, you'd see Bam and I constantly reflect on our own leadership styles and outputs throughout the class as well. And we've seen a lot of positive feedback because of it. So hopefully this is something you might be interested in. And we look how these 5 practices kind of prove timeless, right? We have a fun little screenshots because, you know, due to our current situation, we've been virtual. So the last couple classes Bam and I have done have had about 10 students in them, and here's a couple of our students. I blocked out their names just for privacy, but one of my staff is up there at the top. She's extremely animated, so she's explaining something with her hands, and it's amazing how animated you can be still on Zoom, as well as a couple more diligently listening right underneath her. We find that these are typically people who don't typically interact with each other, and that's the exciting part, is you also get to kind of create another community for yourself through Zoom. The course is offered over a 5-week period, twice a semester. So this upcoming semester, it's going to be offered October through November, and then again, or I'm sorry, it's going to be offered September through October, and then again directly 5 weeks after that, October through November. We're going to stop a week before Thanksgiving. And typically it's just a 3-hour-a-week commitment for 5 weeks. You have an hour of listening to the audiobook, which again we provide, an hour of chapter-based activity, which is again based upon the feedback that I'll go over in the next slide, typically something that the students have said, you know, this was a really great kind of breath of fresh air. This was a great time that I could step away from my classes or step away from my clubs that I'm involved in and just be kind of a part of a different community where we're all just kind of working on one another, or we're working to kind of improve, but there's no judgment, and it's typically not an activity that takes any more than an hour. And then there's our hour weekly discussion, which has been the highlight, where we all get together and Bam and I kind of facilitate the conversation. We pose a couple of questions, and you typically present your activity, which has, again, been super great. Definitely the highlight of my weeks over the summer. And recently, this course has been open up to all students, and the application is live. So I will also drop the link to that in the chat at the end of this before you go as well, Nicole, if it's something you're interested in. Very excited. We just opened that up to all students. And then I just have to conclude a couple of our feedback things to give you an idea of what some students have really taken away from it. The question being, what was one of the most important ideas, new knowledge you gained, and your next steps to apply that new knowledge? This particular person noted that one of the things they learned was to just keep challenging themselves, right? Which I think is a great idea. Something that it notes in the book, and something I try and live by, is the idea of being comfortable being uncomfortable, right? The idea of that trying new things and that getting yourself out there is not an easy process, and that's super valid. But typically when you do, you find that you experience things that you wouldn't have regularly. I moved here all the way from Florida. I didn't know anybody out here. I covered my mouth when Laura was talking about the mountain bike trip, because I went on the trip and I was one of those kids who never mountain biked before. Didn't go over so well for me, but I still had an incredible time, and I experienced Tahoe and I never would have previously. So the idea of challenging yourself, super valid and important. Glad that person took that away. The next person, acknowledgement, that there's so many more and diverse thoughts. Like other people have so many more and diverse thoughts than I do, especially in today's climate. It's super important to understand other people's perspectives. And even if you don't understand them, try and empathize with them and just understand that those other perspectives are out there, right? To have conducive conversation. Challenging the process is what the next person says, which is one of those 5 key categories. Challenging the process because this is one of the most difficult to overcome, but with encouragement and the right people, it can be possible. And then just to kind of skim through, being able to listen to others and understand their values and opinions kind of goes back to acknowledgement that there's more diverse thoughts than your own. Conversing with people that you never otherwise speak to and learning how they think about the world. Looking forward to these classes to relieve my mind off of other things. We got a lot of feedback that was similar to that, so happy that person felt that way. And then this last person said, it's a great way to reflect on yourself and your actions, right? So you don't take the class and just become, a better leader, and you don't take the class and just all of a sudden you're good and you never have to, self-reflect anymore. It's very much a precursor, and it's very much just an opportunity to join in a safe space where everybody is under the assumption that we can all try and improve. Even if it's understanding your value, if it's something as small as understanding where your values lie in relation to the time that you dedicate to them, all the way to, this is what I thought I kind of wanted to do or major in, and all of a sudden now I think it's this. It can be anything in between there. So yeah, hopefully that might be something that you're interested in. And to conclude, just to kind of retouch base on some of our prizes, we're going to have a great 12-inch cast iron pan and seasoning soap, extendable marshmallow roasting sticks, magnetic dartboard, or rain leaf microfiber towel for the first 4 places in trivia. So if you can, Nicole, try and come back at 7:45. I'm going to go ahead and pause recording here, and I'm going to drop a couple things in the Zoom chat. Thank you for coming, and hopefully we see you back at 7:45.
Do you have any questions from anything that you saw, whether it was any of the leadership opportunities we have or any of our adventure programming or outdoors programming? Whether it be something that we're currently offering virtually or something that hopefully we can look forward to coming back to when we're all back together. Any questions?
Laura swooping in for the save. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I know we also said at the beginning, you can always contact us, pacificrec@pacific.edu, or, you can go to our portal or website to find any of our emails. We're always happy to answer questions or hopefully help you find any of your place to move, play, and explore with us.
I'm going to drop a couple links in, not as of right now.
Yeah. Otherwise, have a great night and a great weekend, wrapping up the first week of school.
Absolutely. Awesome. We'd love to see you again, Nicole.